Welcome to today's practice. For this practice, you will need 2 blocks and a small bolster or pillow. Today's practice is a heart-opening practice. We'll begin standing at the top of your mat. We'll start with our feet about hip-width apart. We'll draw our focus into the soles of the feet and find an equal balance between the balls of the feet and the heels of the feet. Letting the toes be soft, allow them to land into the ground. From here, stack the bones of your bodies. Let your knees be soft, stacking over the ankles, the hips over knees. Feel your shoulders roll back and down, and then feel the crown of your head extend upward, elongating through your spine. Begin to allow your mental focus to move inward and notice your natural breathing. Beginning to work with the natural breath, we're going to begin to elongate the breath, taking nice big long inhales in through the nose, filling into the belly, the rib cage, and the chest, and then slowly exhale, letting go underneath the belly button, letting the rib cage contract and letting the chest relax and release. And begin to find your rhythm for your breath. Bring the palms together at the heart and allow your concentration to land in your heart space, finding your intention for the day. Today's practice, we recommend an intention of love, self-love. Once you connect with that intention, allow it to land in your heart space. Allow the fingers to separate, coming into our Padme or Lotus Mudra. And then allowing the intention to land inside the palms. Gently letting the fingers separate, pressing the palms forward. As you inhale, sweep your hands in and around, drawing the fingertips towards the body, the back of the hands rolling together, coming through wrist circles, letting the breath flow. Bringing the palms back together, we'll begin to reverse the direction, drawing the fingertips in towards the face and then pressing the backs of the hands together as you push the hands forward, out and around. And then allow the palms to come back to the heart. Let the mind rest with the intention for 3 more breaths. And then allow the hands to come down to the hips. As you inhale, draw the hands out and around, letting the palms connect at the top, and then draw the hands back down through heart center. We're going to start moving our body with breath, using the inhale to extend the arms and reach up. Exhale, bring the hands down through heart center. When you are ready, we're going to begin to play with balance in the body. So looking forward, find a point to allow your eyes to land on. And then as you inhale, begin to shift the weight forward into the balls of the feet, allowing the heels to lift. As you exhale, let the foot come all the way back down as the hands draw together through heart center. It's okay if you're a little bit wobbly. Balance can sometimes be hard to find at the beginning of practice. When this rhythm begins to feel good in the body, when you find stability in this flow, we will add on as you inhale, lifting the heels, and then as you exhale, let the heels land, bend through the knees, set the hips back, draw the hands down to the heart, almost as if you're sitting back in a chair. As you inhale, press through the feet, Extend up through the spine, lift the hands up over the head, and come back onto the balls of the feet. Continue flowing in this way. On your next inhale, we'll change the flow slightly. And so as you exhale, sitting back into your chair, inhale, draw the arms forward. As you exhale, bring one arm back to your sacrum. Bring the opposite arm to the opposite thigh, twisting through the torso. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, twist to the other side. Inhale, draw the arms forward and up, coming up onto the balls of the feet. Exhale, let the heels come down as the hands come down to heart center. And then we'll flow through this flow 2 more times. When you've completed, allow both the heels to land and the balls of the feet to land. Bring the hands to heart center and take a few deep breaths, coming back to your intention of that self-love. After a few breaths, inhale, draw the hands out and around. Let the palms meet at the top, keeping the feet planted on the floor. As you exhale, draw the hands down through heart center. On the next round, inhale, lifting the hands up overhead. As you exhale, let the arms float down to shoulder height. Bend through the knees, sink your belly into your thighs. Lift the hips up. Inhale, bring the hands to your shins, lift up halfway. As you exhale, hands on the ground. Step one foot back and then the other, coming into a high plank, pressing the crown of your head forward. Take 3 deep breaths here, and then gently let your knees come down to the floor, sinking the hips back towards the heels, hinging forward from the torso. Take 3 breaths here. Shift the hips forward, stacking the elbows over wrists and then the shoulders over elbows, knees under hips, pressing the crown of your head forward as you inhale. As you exhale, tuck your tail under, lift your spine up, press through your arms to lift the spine up, letting the head come down, gazing between the arms at the thighs. As you inhale, lift your tail up, let your belly fill towards the floor, sink the heart in towards the earth, and lift the chest and chin forward. Come through a few rounds of cat-cow. And then if you are ready to move into something a little bit more expressive, As you tuck your tail under, you can let your hips sink back towards your heels, extending the hands forward. Reach the hands as far forward as you can, plant through the palms. As you inhale, lift your hips forward, coming back through that hands and knees position. And as you exhale, continue to let the hips and heart move forward and up, coming into big back bend. As you exhale, let the spine round as the hips move all the way back towards the heels, keeping the arms extended, flowing in a child's pose and a big back bend. Moving with your breath. When it feels complete, allow your hips to sink back towards the heels. Let your torso come forward. Let the arms find a comfortable position and take a few breaths in child's pose. Reaching the palms forward as you inhale, bring the hips back to stack over top of the knees, the shoulders over the wrists, pressing into the palms, curl your toes under, lift the knees, and then shift the hips up and back. Once the hips are lifted, pedal through the feet, bending one knee and then the other. And then keeping a neutral long spine, raise up onto the balls of your feet and then slowly sink your heels. We'll do this a few times, extending, helping to open through the back line of the leg. Looking forward between your hands, begin to walk your feet forward, allowing them to land hip width apart. As you inhale, lift your back up halfway, pressing the hands into the shins or thighs, extending through the crown of the head. As you exhale, fold forward, bend deep into the knees, hinging from the waist, bring the belly onto the thighs, draw the arms out to the sides, and as you continue to inhale, lifting up through the heart, through the crown of the head, coming all the way up to standing, reaching through the hands. Exhale, bring the hands down to your heart. Take 3 deep, full breaths here. When you're ready, we'll come through another round, inhaling, drawing the arms up overhead, letting the palms come together. As you exhale, arms float down to shoulder height, deep bend in the knees, belly to thighs, lift the hips. Inhale, hands to shins, lift up halfway. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the palms, step the feet back, press through the crown, drawing it away from your heels. Take 3 full big breaths in our plank pose. Slowly let the knees come down, let your hips sink back towards your heels, letting the torso hinge forward. As you inhale, come back into that big back bend, let the hips and heart move forward and up, planting through those palms. As you exhale, shifting the hips back towards the heels. As you inhale, your next inhale, coming back into that tabletop position, all 4 limbs stacked on the ground. Curl your toes under, lift your knees, press through the palms, and shift your hips up and back. Gently lift onto the balls of your feet, lifting the heels. Exhale, lower the heels down to the floor. Doing that a few times. And then when you're ready, look forward in between the hands, walking the feet forward, back hip width apart. Hands to shins. Inhale, lift up halfway, extending the crown forward, long neutral spine. As you exhale, hinge forward, bend deep into the knees. Draw the arms out to the sides as you inhale, and then hinging at the waist, lift all the way back up into standing, reaching arms overhead. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Take a few deep breaths, connect to your intention. Inhale, draw the arms out and around, reaching up overhead. Exhale, arms float down to shoulder height, hinging at the waist, bending at the knees, coming all the way forward. Hands to shins. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, forward fold, bringing the palms down to the ground. Step one foot back and then the other, drawing the crown away from the feet. Nice long neutral spine. Breathe deep here. Slowly let the knees drop, sink the hips back towards the heels. Inhale, planting through the palms. Exhale, soften. On your next inhale, plant through the palms, moving the hips forward, and as you continue to exhale, lower the hips towards the earth, lift the heart forward. Inhale, come back through table. Let the hips draw back towards the heels as you exhale, and then inhale, come back forward to table, curl the toes under, lift the knees, lift the hips. Coming back into our downward facing dog. Gently lift onto the balls of the feet, lower the heels down as you exhale, doing a few rounds, helping to open that back line of the body. And gently walk the feet forward, bringing the feet hip width apart, finding stability. Inhale, bring your hands to your shins, lift up halfway, long spine. Exhale, slowly come down, bend through the knees, sink through the hips, and then pressing up through the feet, hinge the waist, letting the crown come all the way back up to standing. Bring the hands down to the heart. Take a few deep breaths. Landing in Tadasana, stay with your breath. On the next inhale, draw the arms out and around, reaching up. Exhale, arms down to shoulders, bend the knees, hinge forward from the hips, bringing the hands down, lifting the hips up, and then inhale, bring the hands to shins, come up halfway. Exhale, bring the hands all the way down to the ground, step one foot back and then the other. Come into that long plank, drawing the crown of the head away from your heels. Take 3 deep full breaths here. Exhale, drop to the knees, sink the hips back towards the heels, let the torso hinge forward. Take a few breaths in our child's pose. And then sliding the palms back towards the body, stacking them under the shoulders. Tuck your chin in towards your chest, round your spine, and gently roll up to be seated on the heels. Now, if this is too much pressure, feel free to use a couple of props like blocks to slide between the legs to help elevate the hips off the back of the heels to prevent compression in the legs. Find that neutral pelvic bowl so that you can sit up nice and tall. Feel the crown of your head extend upward. Come back to breath. When you're ready, inhale, draw the arms out and around. Let your gaze follow the thumbs, looking up, lifting through the heart. And as you exhale, floating the arms out to the side, letting them come back down towards the hips as the chin tucks in towards the chest. We'll do a few rounds. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, floating the arms out to the side and down, tucking the chin in towards the chest. Interlacing the fingers at the top of your inhale, gently cup the hands behind the base of the head. And then as you exhale, draw the body over to one side, lowering one elbow down towards the ground, keeping the seat planted. Feel that opening in the side body. Inhale, come back up through center, and then as you exhale, bend into the side body on the other side. Gently moving with your breath, side to side. Every inhale coming back up through center and lengthening through the crown. We'll change the movement on the next inhale. Let the elbows draw open wide. Lift the chin up to look up at the sky. As you exhale, draw the elbows in towards each other as the chin tucks in towards the chest. Heart open, heart closed. Take the hands out from behind the head, undo the fingers, and then turn the left palm up, the right palm facing down, and interlock the fingers this way. Reaching the arms back up overhead, draw one elbow down towards the ground as it helps draw the opposite elbow up behind the head, drawing it up towards the ceiling, gently working through the shoulders. Every inhale, come back through center. Every exhale, draw the opposite elbow down towards the floor, helping to lift the top elbow up towards the ceiling. Gently bring the hands back in front of the body and then move the hands in the opposite direction. This time the right hand will be on the bottom, curling the fingers up, and the left hand will be on top, interlacing. And then come back to our arm flow, side to side, lifting one elbow and then the other. Bring the hands back in front of the body. Bring the palms together and take a couple of breaths here in center. Feel the echoes of the flow in the shoulders. Take a deep inhale in, get nice and tall. And as you exhale, twist through belly, ribs, and chest towards the right, looking over the right shoulder. Inhale, come back through center, and then twist belly, ribs, and chest to the left. We're going to flow from side to side. Every inhale coming back through center. Every exhale twisting to the opposite side. Be sure to keep the seat planted and allow the twist to come through the torso. Finishing on the left, come back to center. As you inhale, roll the shoulders back, opening the arms wide. As you exhale, roll the shoulders forward, turning the palms down and towards the wall behind you. As you exhale, inhale, open the palms up, rolling the shoulders back. Exhale, shoulders roll forward, palms roll forward, and then facing the back wall. If you want, you can add the added movement of the head as you inhale, lifting the chin up. Exhale, tucking the chin in towards the chest. Gently bring the hands to the thighs. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. As you exhale, tuck your tail under, draw your belly in towards the spine drawing towards the wall behind you. Tuck your chin in towards your chest. As you inhale, roll the pelvis forward, lead with the belly and heart opening, lift the chin up towards the sky, and we'll come through a few rounds of seated version of our cat and cow. On your next inhale, come back up to center. Draw your awareness into your belly button, keeping your seat planted. Gently begin to move the belly button out and around in circles, drawing in towards the spine and then rolling forward, off to the other side and then rolling back. Gently stirring our Agni, our digestive fire, helping to awaken within. And then when you're ready, gently begin moving the circles in the opposite direction. Coming back to center, take a nice big inhale in. We're going to gently release the props if we have any underneath our seat. Coming back to hands and knees position. And then gently sink the hips back towards the heels, hinge forward from the waist, letting the torso come down, resting the forehead on the ground if possible or on the backs of the hands. Take a few breaths here. On your next inhale, coming back to that hands and knees position, bringing the hands ahead of the shoulders, keep walking them forward, and then keeping the hips lifted, gently sink the heart and chin down towards the floor, coming into our melting heart or Anahata Asana pose. Opening through the heart, and then gently let the body come forward, letting yourself rest on the belly, letting the hands stack underneath the forehead. Bring the feet nice and wide and let yourself rest in this prone position. Connect back to your breath, and then when you're ready, lifting the head, sliding opposite hands to opposite elbows. Gently walk the elbows back underneath the shoulders. Release the hands from opposite elbows. Bring the palms spreading wide. Plant the tops of the feet into the floor. It might help to feel the toes curl under. Lift the knees to draw the legs further back. Press through the tops of the feet, the hips, and the elbows and forearms as you inhale, lifting the crown forward and up. Hold the pose in this gentle back bend, taking deep breaths. You may begin to feel heat from the practice, and if you feel warm, we can move into an opening, cooling breath, our lion's breath. And so as you inhale, draw in through your nose. As you exhale, open your mouth, let your tongue draw down towards your chin, and exhale out, blowing it out in a releasing heat and tension in the body. If it feels nice to do a couple of rounds, do so. And then allow the palms of the hands to stack on top of each other. Slide the elbows out and lower the head down. Gently slide the palms underneath the shoulders. Draw the elbows in towards the ribs and use the strength of the arms to push your torso back up, coming back into that neutral hands and knees position. Stacking the wrists under elbows, elbows under shoulders, knees under hips. Inhale, draw the crown forward. As you exhale, bend into the left side, drawing the left hip forward. Look over the left shoulder at the left hip. Inhale, come back through center, bend into the right side, right hip moves out to the side, right gaze looks over the right shoulder down at the hip. We'll flow from side to side using the inhale to come through center. And when you're ready, we'll layer on. As you bend down to look at the left side, extend the right foot behind you and draw it over the midline of the body, drawing it out on the left side of the body. Gaze down at that right foot. Inhale, come back through center. All four limbs come back in. And then as you exhale, extend the left leg out as you look over the right shoulder, and then draw the left foot down to look at it as you bend into the right side of the body. When you've done an equal amount on both sides and it feels complete, come back to center. Bring the right hand into the center underneath the face. Gently slide the right foot out towards a 45-degree angle. Bring the left hand to your heart. Extend the left leg back and gently open towards the left side. As you inhale, expand, reach the hand up, extend the left leg out. And then as you exhale, you can draw that left heel in towards the seat. Bring the left hand around and gently draw that thigh back. Inhale, come back to extension. And then exhale, bring the left hand back down to the floor, draw the left knee back in. And then coming onto all fours, sink the hips back towards the heels. Coming back in child's pose. Take a breath here. And then inhale, we'll move to the opposite side. This time the left hand slides under the face. The left foot will slide a little bit outward at a 45-degree angle for support. Inhale, bring the right hand first to the heart and then twist open towards the right side, extending the right foot back. And then maybe even as you exhale, drawing that right heel in towards the right seat, bringing the right hand behind to hold on to the foot, helping to open and stretch through the open front of that right thigh. As you inhale, come back to expansion, and then as you exhale, bring the right hand to the heart and then down to the ground and draw the right leg in. Gently let your hips sink back towards your heels. Take a breath in child's pose. As you inhale, come back forward onto our hands and knees. This time we're going to reach forward for the blocks, planting the blocks underneath our hands. We're going to thread the right foot in between the arms. Make sure that when you bend into the right knee, it stacks above the right ankle, and allow the blocks to be at a position that when you lunge in, your elbows are stacked over your wrists and your shoulders over your elbows. Gently will begin to flow as you exhale, bend into the knees, sinking the hips forward. As you inhale, gently release, extending through the leg, always keeping the crown of the head away from the tail. Flow with your breath. On your next exhale, sink the hip forward. Gently bring the hands to the right thigh to lift up. And then as you find your balance in this lunge, we can bring the hands behind the back, intertwining the fingers to help open through the heart. Inhale, lift the crown of the head up out of the waist. Lift through the heart towards the sky, drawing the hands down towards the back foot. Inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale, bring the hands to the blocks. As you inhale, gently release the lunge in the right leg, sinking the hips back, opening up, and then walking the hands underneath the shoulders, slide the right leg back. We'll move right into the left side, threading the left foot through both arms. Take a bend in the left knee, making sure that when you find that lunge, that the knee stacks over top of the ankle, that the arms are stacked with elbows over wrists, shoulders over elbows. Use the exhale to lunge in, and then as you inhale, gently release, pulsing the flow, moving with your breath. And on your next exhale, let yourself sink forward in that lunge. Gently bring the hands onto the left thigh, and as you inhale, hinge up from the waist. Find balanced stability first, and gently interlace the fingers behind the back if that's where we're at today. You can also keep the hands separate and just intend the arms behind you. As you gently lift through the chest, lift through the crown of the head as the hips sink forward. And then inhale, come back up, gently place the hands back on the block, releasing the lunge, in the left hip. Let your hips sink back. And then walking the hands back forward, gently draw that left leg back under. Release the blocks off at the top of your mat, coming back onto hands and knees. And gently bring the knees a little bit wider apart so you can sink the hips back towards the heels. Let the torso fold forward. Take a breath or two here. And then inhale, coming back to hands and knees. Curl your toes under, press through the palms, and then lift the hips up and back. Coming into that upside down V gently as you inhale, pushing up onto the balls of the feet. As you exhale, gently lowering the heels down towards the floor. Flow here a couple breaths. And then gently looking forward, we'll walk the feet up in between the hands. Inhale, come up halfway, and then exhale, come all the way back down, deep bend in the knees, arms draw out to the side, and as you inhale, hinging up from the waist, coming all the way up to standing, reaching the arms up. As you exhale, bring the hands down to your heart. Reconnect with breath. Once we've reconnected to breath, we will turn to face the long side of our mat. We might want to have the use and aids of blocks handy and nearby. Grabbing one block, we'll bring it to the outside of the left foot. Coming to stand in our hip width mountain pose or standing pose. Connect back into that grounding underneath the soles of the feet. Feel the bones of the body stack as you find length getting nice and tall. As you inhale, resting the weight into the left foot, begin to extend the right leg out to the side as the arms draw out to the side, coming into our falling star pose. As you exhale, gently let the foot come back in, finding balance. Inhale, open, extend, expand. Exhale, contract, land, finding steadiness. When this feels steady, we'll add on as you exhale, drawing the right leg in. We'll bend through the left knee to draw the right knee up and over top, and resting the right foot on the block as you sit the hips down, coming into a baby chair. Bring the hands to the heart for balance and stability. Inhale, open and expand, get nice and wide. Exhale, one leg crosses the over, setting the hips down, finding your flow. After a couple of rounds, as you inhale, letting the right foot come back down to land, finding that neutral standing position. Take a few breaths here, feeling the echoes of the pose, and then we'll gently move the block over to the outside of the right foot. When you find your stability, we'll start by inhaling, extending the left leg out, opening through the arms, finding that falling star on this side. Exhale, letting the foot land and the arms come down to the sides. When you're ready, we'll begin crossing the left leg this time over the right on the exhale. So inhale, open, expand. Exhale, bend through both knees and then hook the left leg over top of the right, letting the left foot come to rest on the block that's on the outside of the right foot, setting the hips back. Inhale, open, expand, get nice and wide. And again, it's okay to be wobbly. Remember that we're all perfectly imperfect. It's all a progress. Yoga is not a perfect, it's a practice. And then gently, when it feels complete, allow both feet to land, coming back to that standing position. Take a couple breaths there. And then gently releasing the block out front, we're going to move the legs wider than shoulder width apart, finding a nice wide base. Bend through the knees, bring the hands down to the thighs, and gently alternate lunging from one side into the other, beginning to open through the side body, feeling that gentle lunge. And then reaching the hands down to the floor or a block, we'll keep the feet planted in center, hips in center, and then gently walk the hands over to the right hand side, finding a slight opening in the right side of the body. Inhale, walk the hands back through center, and then as you exhale, walk the hands over to the left side. Take a couple breaths here. And then inhale, come back through center, reach the arms far forwards, try and sink the heart towards the floor, keeping the hips stacked back, aligned with the ankles and the heels. And then walking the hands back towards the body, we can turn the hands around to point towards the wall behind us and gently walk the hands in between the legs, helping to open through the shoulder blades. Inhale, come back to center, and then bringing the hands to the ankles, coming back into that side lunge from side to side, a little bit deeper now. Inhale, come back to center, heel toe the feet so they're just slightly wider than shoulder width apart. It might feel nice to have the toes pointed outward and slowly sink the hips down. Bringing the backs of the arms inside the thighs. We can either keep the hands on the ground or bring them together in front of the heart. Connect to breath. And then bringing the palms of the hands down to the floor, slowly lower down to the knees, and then the seat. Bring the seat into the center of the mat. We are about to recline, so you might want to have your props nearby, your blocks and your pillows within arm's reach. And then slowly roll down to be reclined. Once down, we can draw the knees up into the chest. And then bringing the hands to the knees, gently move the legs out and away from each other, rotating the femurs inside the pelvis, moving them out and around, almost like you're stirring in one direction first. And then moving in the opposite direction. When it feels complete, slowly bring the soles of the feet back down to the mat and gently flow the knees from one side to the other. Grabbing a pillow or a block, bringing the soles of the feet to the ground, gently press through the feet to lift the hips, sliding the block or pillow underneath your sacrum, your tailbone area, the back of your pelvis, just making sure it's not in your low back. From here, draw one knee at a time up into the chest, and then as you inhale, slowly extend the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling. Once we're extended, we can begin to add some movement in the feet. First, turning the feet inward, allowing the inside line of the foot to press up towards the ceiling. And then as we exhale, pressing the outside edge of the foot up towards the ceiling. And then flowing from this movement into pointing the toes up towards the ceiling and then drawing the toes back towards the shins. And then moving from here into full ankle circles. One direction and then another. And then as you exhale, gently bring the knees back down to the chest, letting the soles of the feet come down to the floor. Press in, lift the hips, gently release the prop. Let your sacrum land all the way back on the floor. And then bringing the arms up beside the body, letting the shoulder blades rest in. As you exhale, slowly lower your knees to the left. And maybe even let the right knee draw up across the midline of the body, coming up towards the left elbow. As you inhale, bring the right knee back to center, letting both knees come up through center, and then exhale towards the right side. This time the left knee will draw up towards the left elbow. And gently flowing from side to side, coming into flowing twist. And then when that feels complete, come back to center and we'll move through our posture of integration, allowing the soles of the feet to stay on the mat. Bring the feet out wide and gently let the knees move inward, leaning against each other, landing in constructive rest. Alternatively, we can bring the soles of the feet together, letting the knees move out and wide apart, gently sinking into our reclined bound angle, whatever position feels better for you today, or extending the legs all the way out, coming into our Shavasana, or our corpse pose. Take the time to rest, letting all that wonderful energy soak into your body, all that good intention of self-love and self-care. When it feels complete, coming back to center, connect back to breath, and then very gently begin to move through your extremities, fingers and toes, wrist circles, ankle circles, and then stretching. When you're ready, gently roll onto a side body, letting an arm or a prop support your head and neck. Take a couple breaths here. And then very gently pressing up, coming all the way back up to seated, finding a comfortable seat. There is one last set of poses that we need to do. The first is taking your right hand and reaching behind your shoulder and giving yourself a pat on the back. Well done. And then, of course, yoga is about balance, so doing the same with the left hand. Good job. Bringing the palms together, honoring your own light within, and then honoring that light in each other. Namaste. Have a wonderful day.